Going on, everybody? Dan Jackson here, coming at you again live on tape from his wife's garage gym of character. I'm going to talk a little bit about intermittent fasting and athletic performance. As with anything in regards to life, an appropriate nutrition plan and relative pattern is quite important. Uniquely, some patterns advocate a larger number of hours where food is not consumed. This pattern of time-restricted consumption is known as intermittent fasting, and its popularity from a non-scientific standpoint, so the general population can comprehend, stems from visual perception of improved body composition and the top verbal advocacy of weight loss. Scientifically, intermittent fasting can assist in greater insulin sensitivity levels and reduced blood pressure, body fat, IGF-1, insulin, glucose, atherogenic lipids, and inflammation. Since there has been a relatively positive correlation between this method of feeding and metabolic improvement, it grows to speculate that it may assist the body in fuel efficiency, aiding in athletic performance. However, the duration in which this could be beneficial or detrimental to athletic performance is moderately controversial and may require further investigation. The comparative time length between fasting and feeding is the basis following any intermittent fasting regimen. The window of feeding is necessary to correspond with the subjective needs of daily expenditure, activity, etc. Examples regarding this timing could range from anywhere between a few hours of difference, 12, 14, 16, etc. hour fast with a 12, 10, 8, etc. hour feed, to a type of alternate day fast feed. Having toyed with this method of eating personally, I can say that the metabolic and body composition improvements are quite evident. I followed a type of cyclic intermittent fasting regimen that was 14 days on, 14 days off. The time-restricted feeding occurred for 14 days with a feed of 14 hours and a fast of 10. That was combined with a conscious increase in food hygiene, whereas the consecutive 14 days were normal feeding, meaning I could eat whatever I wanted in a sense. Across the course of 5 months in 2018, I went from a starting weight of 304 pounds or 138.18 kilograms to 268 pounds or 122.18 kilograms. I still follow this regimen and hover in the vicinity of 261 pounds, 118.64 kilograms, approximately 3 years later. From this experience, the subjective results in the CrossFit gym honestly were quite interesting, which allowed me to kind of dive further into intermittent fasting athletic performance, and this assignment helped follow that up. Much of the research conducted for intermittent fasting and athletic performance hypothesized that intermittent fasting occupied with the exercise could lead to negative implications. With regards to resistance training, a reduction of energy intake would reduce strength and negatively impact performance and muscle size, since there is an associated reduction in body mass. However, multiple studies noted in Levi and Shu 2019 expressed that there was no negative impact or reduction in muscle size and strength. Notably, on the endurance side of training, the hypothesis associated with intermittent fasting is controversially accurate. Decreases in time to perceive fatigue in aerobic-based athletics were notable across a handful of studies, again noted in Levi and Shu. However, there is speculation as to the direct limiting component with reference to fat oxidation efficiency, and performance, as the subjective nature of metabolism allows for some athletes to claim limitations versus others claiming no difference whatsoever. This is honestly where my experience differed a bit. Subjectively, my strength, power, and endurance capacity remained. However, post-endurance bouts, I would enter an extreme state of fatigue. Specifically, I did a 30-minute ski erg distance for, 30 minutes on the ski erg for distance, and I passed out for about 20 minutes afterward. Therefore, following an intermittent fasting regimen based on the research and this subjective exposure would not be theoretically ideal for performance unless an athlete is needing to cut weight for a powerful event. Secondly, there's an extreme demand for finding the necessary nutrients to be consumed within the feeding window. And in order to find those nutrients, it would be very stressful, and a lot of trial and error would occur most likely. However, following this regimen for daily healthy use could be remarkably beneficial for those struggling with metabolic complications and conditions. Kind of like myself, I had a lot of positive results from it. But thank you for listening. Have a wonderful evening. Cheers.